How many people have practiced meditation? And I'll bet when you were studying meditation, the idea behind it was to quiet the mind, to stop thought, to be still. And is it possible to quiet the mind? Anyone here really succeeded in quieting the mind without... Now, I don't mean falling asleep. I mean, but quieting thought so that the mind doesn't think. And I've really started to understand that maybe we're looking at meditation a little bit from an angle that's not serving. And so I've titled this talk, How Do We Tap Into the Inner Power Within? How do we tap into that inner beingness, that inner creativity that creates all things? And so as I explored this idea, I said, so what is this power? And so I looked at, the other day, someone at the chamber came up and was asking another person, that Lee, he's really a radical type minister. Does he believe in Jesus? And the person said, well, I know he teaches what Jesus teaches. And he says, does he believe in the Trinity? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And the person says, I think on that issue, you had better ask him. But when that was presented, it gave me an idea. It fed me with this idea, so who are we? Are we not the triune nature of God? Okay, so what does it mean to be the triune nature of God? It means that what? We have a spirit or an essence or consciousness, whatever you want to call it. It's undefinable, it's whole and perfect just as it is. Is there not this idea of this soul, this aspect of being that the Catholics would call the Holy Ghost? And do we not have a body? So we have spirit, mind, and body. Is that not it? Then if we are the triune nature of God, why are we in such pain? Why do we have such suffering in our lives? What I've come to understand is because we've identified ourselves that we are our body. We've identified ourselves that we are our mind. And psychologists now go and they take it to the point of, well, you can't be your ego. You can't be your mind. So what can you be? Who are you? It's like when someone says to you, point to me. So if you were there and you were, point to where you see me. Point to where I am. In your mind, where am I? Some of my students here in my classes have already got it differently. It's in here. I am not up here the way you see me because your mind is sending out a signal through your eyes. Your eyes are interpreting it, bringing it back into your brain, and everything is being translated within your mind. Is that not right? So the whole exterior world that you're experiencing right here and now is not happening out there. It's not happening to you. It's happening through you, through the perception of your own mind. So we have a body, and that body can cause us pain. Is that correct? Because if we cut ourselves, if we hurt our nervous system, something physical happens, the body has pain, and it's interpreted through the mind, right? So if we identify ourselves with our body, I am this body, and let's say this body doesn't meet my expectation. Am I in pain? Will I suffer? If I'm not living up to society's image that I may have adopted about my body, am I not suffering? Why? Because I've identified my body as me. Making sense? Now let's go to the mind. Am I my mind? If I say I'm my mind, then I'm saying that I am this ego. I am this thing, and I'm influenced by all this stuff. But if I step beyond that, and I say, I am not my body, I am not my mind, I am whatever I put after it. I am consciousness. I don't know what other word to use, because every time I use a word, I define myself. And when I define myself, I limit myself. So I'm going to say I am. So when I'm in my I am not my body, I'm not my mind, but I have a body and I have a mind. Now here's the interesting thing. When you start to really take this idea that I am, and I am has a mind and has a body, then it means that the I am is the controller of the body and the controller of the mind. Is that not right? Because the I am holds that, it has that, it is what it is. Now, if the I am has that, then is the I am not that which can shift and change the body and shift and change the mind? So all healing, when we talk about how do we heal, it's heal when we experience wholeness. How do we experience wholeness? When we embrace the I am. So when I embrace the I am, I can now take my body and I can create my body in any image likeness that I choose. What can I believe about my body? Then the question is, if I have a mind, and I could be outside my mind looking in that there I am, and there's my mind functioning, I can see that I have a conscious mind and I have an unconscious mind. And I can see as I watch that in my human form, that conscious and unconscious mind is creating my life experience. And if I'm able to observe it, I can say, oh, here's a pattern of thought, here's a pattern of thought. And as I'm having those patterns of thought, I realize it's not giving me the experience I want. So the observer I am now can change and say, I want to change those patterns of thought. So I now implement within my mind a new pattern of thought. And now my mind starts working for me instead of blindly working in my life. And living from a victim mentality. Now I've gone pretty deep right here. So I really want to bring it back out. We define life, we define God, we define consciousness, we define all that is as infinite. Being infinite, it has always been, it always will be. It is the seen, it is the unseen, it is the known, the unknowable. And for anything to exist, it must be it. So it created everything outside of itself, out of itself, and all the power of it resides within it. Now, here's the thing. You are it. So if you are it, then all the power of the infinite is present within you. However, you are not all of it. You are the individualization of it. You are a point of consciousness. You are the microcosm of the macrocosm. So as the macro creates, the micro creates. Now, how do we create? We create from the wisdom and knowledge that we are it. Because without the wisdom and the knowledge of what we are, we don't believe we have the power to change. We believe we are a victim. Does that make sense? But the second we can take a step back and we go into this meditative state where we separate ourselves from our mind and body and realize that we're something so much greater than that we can't even begin to define ourselves, but we know it's the essence of who we are. We feel it in those moments. Remember those moments that you've had where you couldn't feel where your body began and ended? Those moments when you felt that you were more than your thoughts? Remember those moments where you felt this desire to connect with something greater? And in that moment, we make the mistake that we've got to find someone else to do it with. See, I know that. I know that because I've had that happen with me. As you go on a spiritual journey, as anyone goes on a spiritual journey, you're always coming to being a greater awareness. You see, that's all a spiritual journey is. It's about becoming more aware of the I am. It gets lonely. It gets really lonely from the mind and the body perspective. And what you do is, what is a natural thing for the mind and the body to do? It's natural to go seek someone else to help you in that, right? But if you're seeking someone else, what are you seeking? You're seeking another mind and another body, am I right? And if you're seeking another mind and another body, what are you saying about the I am? You're saying the I am is limited, it can't do it. And so you're denying in that moment the very essence. So in the humanness, when you step into the unknown, it can feel very, very, very lonely. I know this week, I stepped into that. And I had a lot of different experiences that I've never had before. And I wanted to call a lot of people. And I realized there was no one that would understand. All my prayer partners, everyone would not understand, because here's what I got. I'm unique. You're unique. The only person that can understand where you are is you. The only person who can understand where I'm at is me. So I realized that what I had to do was I had to go within, and I had to cause myself to feel that I wasn't this mind and body. I had to step back and have an out-of-body experience in that where I observed myself out here and yet separate. So I was the observed and I was the observer. And that's where meditation became relevant to me. Because meditation, as I got it, was creating separation, a little bit of distance between the I am and the mind and the body, so the I am could see what the experience was and deal with it effectively. Because when you're caught up in the condition, you can't do it. You're caught up in the condition. Does it make sense? How do you experience this? I don't know. I can tell you it takes practice. I shared with you a while back, a couple weeks ago, a meditation that I got from a guru, Sadhguru. And as I played with that meditation, it didn't work for me. And so I tapped in as I was sitting there and I was doing this meditation. I said, how would this work? And I came to this, and I'm going to share it with you because I want you to try this. Because I believe that we are teaching a practical form of living. Because if there's not a practice involved, it doesn't work. So all you have to do is this. You close your eyes, and with your breath, you breathe, I am not my body. You breathe out, I have a body. You breathe in, I am not my mind. You breathe out, I have a mind. Do you see what you're doing to your mind? You're literally saying, I'm going to start to condition my mind, the unconscious aspect of it, to no longer think that I am my body and I am my mind. I'm going to condition it that I have a body and I have a mind. And you see, you do this for 10 minutes every day. I would say 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. You do this because what are you doing? You're trying to break conditioned habits that have been with you all of your life. Everything out in society is saying you are your body. Go buy this dress, go buy these shoes, go buy this perfume, get your hair done here, eat this food. Everything is about why? Because that's who you are. That's what we're being filled with, right? So in order to create something new, we've got to do something. We can't just say, I heard Lee say that, I now get it, my life has changed. It's not going to happen because your mind is on an auto loop. You know what I'm saying? Your mind is on a loop. It's a habit of thought that you've created, and it's going on all the time. If you don't do anything to change it, your experience will be constantly the same. You will never change. So in order, the way to do it, you've got to do a pattern interrupt. And that's what meditation is. Meditation is like the ability to say, stop. Let's take time, reboot. And in that reboot, replant new ideas. We want to replant a operating system fix into the mind that we've chosen to put into the mind. So when we're changing that operating system, we're changing it from no longer living from the place of I am my body and I am my mind, but I have a body and I have a mind, and now the I am that I am is now going to mold that mind and body to what I desire it to be, and take that body, take that mind in oneness with me, and be in the world in love. You see, when we align the three, the mind, the body, and the soul, we no longer judge. Because I don't need anything from anyone else when I'm aligned. So I have no reason to judge. I simply look at the soul expressing as you or you and say, that soul is expressing perfectly as they need to express where they are at this time. So I can honor the divine, I can honor the infinite, I can honor the presence that is within them. When I'm doing that, I'm seeing the Christ, I'm seeing the Buddha nature, I'm seeing the Krishna nature. And in that moment, no matter what the situation, when I understand that I'm not my body, I'm not my mind, and remember, all experience that we have is a result of our mind's interpretation of that event. Does that make sense? There's no experience that you're having in this moment, in any moment, that is not created in your own mind. It does not matter what that other person around you is doing. It's your interpretation of what they're doing. And here's the key. Remember, when someone's doing something, they're never doing it to you. They're doing it for themselves. To think that people are going to really play a victim, make you a victim, no, they're not. They're doing it for themselves all the time. We're always doing it. Our mind, our ego only knows, how do I make my life better? So we've got to get out of the idea that people are doing things to us. They're not. If you look at ISIS, is ISIS doing anything to anyone? No, they're doing it for themselves. For whatever reason, they feel so suppressed, so repressed, that they have no other way but to strike out like that. I can't justify it. I can't say I would do that, but that's what their mind is saying. Now, can you change their mind? Only they can. That's where coming together in community is important. Coming together to support each other is important. Because if you can come to some place where you realize people are not trying to change you, and you can be your authentic self, that makes it easier to do the change. I know a lot of you here personally, some of you a lot more than others. But I know that whenever I see you, I know you're doing exactly what is right for you in this moment. And what I've set myself up to be is I've set myself to be a teacher and a speaker. I'm here to speak the ideas that I believe can help us be more loving. I'm here to be the example of that, but I'm not here to be better than you because I'm the same as you. I'm the individualization of consciousness, but I am totally unique as Lee. And I honor that you are the individualization of consciousness and you are totally unique as you. And when we all embrace that, we live in love. So where's your power? It's taking a moment to step back, to meditate. And in meditation, to take distance, put distance, a space between your mind, your body, and I am. And with that space, that little bit of space, just a fraction of a space of separation, you now can see the world, your world, differently. And when you see your world differently, you can respond differently because you now know you have the power to move that mind, to move that body, to do what you desire. And that's all you're here for. Your whole purpose is to be uniquely you. Nothing else. The more unique you are, the greater gift you bring to this planet. The greater gift you bring to this planet and you give it, and that gift will always be in service. You will have abundance. You will have love. You will have freedom. You see, when you step back and you do your meditation practice, you are free of the shackles of the mind. You are free of the shackles of the body. You are free. You have no limitations. Oh, that's everything. You see, that's the one thing we want most in the world is freedom. And if you look at it, where we try to get it is free from our body, and we do it in the body. We try to be free in the mind, but it's our soul that wants to be free. It is that soul, it is that I am. It is the love that you are. Put a a little grin on your face. Just feel how still it is. The air is pure. There's very little thought. The I am is alive. Close your eyes and just feel it. Don't try to label it. Don't try to describe it. Just feel. Let's anchor it with prayer. I want to thank you for joining us today. I am so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask you to go to our website. Once there, click on the Contribute button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to the world. I would also ask you to please share this message with anyone you feel might benefit. Again, I want to thank you for joining me and the Agape community as together we bring joy to life.